Salve, continuing lesson 20, lines 882 to 887. And Kaises is going to finish his speech here. And finally, we're going to learn the name. I've told you already, but we're going to learn the name of this young boy, this young man who is accompanying the elder Marcellus. Heu miserande puer, si qua fata aspera rumpas, tu Marcellus eres. Manibus date lilia plenis purpureos spargam flores, animamque nepotis. His salta cumulem donis et fungar inani munere. Sic tota passim regione vagantur, aeris in campis latis at quomnia lustrant. Alas, miserable boy, or we'll say boy that must be pitied. If in any way the harsh, you would break the harsh fates, you will be Marcellus. So, Anchises is making this speech, and he says, alas, boy that must be pitied, and these are vocatives, so the drama heightens here as Anchises addresses Marcellus himself. Now, it's an apostrophe. Marcellus is out here in this sort of vision, you know, or above the river of Lethe, and it's for rhetorical effect, and Anchises is just overwhelmed with emotion, most likely. Alas, boy who must be pitied. And this is a gerundive in the vocative form. So we have that must be in there. You know, it's the gerundive because there's the und. Alas, boy that must be pitied, if in any way you would break the harsh fates. This is like a prayer. If you would only be able to break the harsh fates in any way and not die so young. Rumpas is the verb. The subject is to, you, addressing to Marcellus. And fata aspera is the accusative here. And rumpas is a subjunctive. It's a present subjunctive. And far tells us that it's a future less vivid condition. I think it's more of just a volative, subjunctive wishing that that Marcellus would somehow be able to live. And I can see why he might say it's a condition, because then this part says, if you would break the fates, then you will be Marcellus. But I think it's more, if only you could break those harsh fates in any way. And qua is ablative, in any way. And then this I see as more of like a declaration of the end of his speech. You will be Marcellus, and maybe not so much connected to this part as a condition. You will be Marcellus. You is the subject, eris the verb, and Marcellus is nominative also. Alas, boy who must be pitied, if in any way you would break the harsh fates, you shall be Marcellus. So notice we've delayed saying his name until now. We mentioned the elder Marcellus, but up till now we've been describing this younger Marcellus and not said his name. Date, give. Manibus date lilia plenis. Give lilies. This is an imperative, plural. Give lilies to the, give lilies manibus plenis, with, and these are ablatives, with the hands full, with armfuls, in abundance. So give lilies for his death, his funeral, with full hands. Then we move to the verb spargam, which the subject is ego of this verb. So we're changing subjects. We had an imperative before, so the subject would be you. You give, you all give lilies. And now let me. This is a volative subjunctive expressing a wish. So let me sprinkle purple flowers, purpureos flores, and let me pile up. Accumulem, also the subject is ego, and this is also a volative subjunctive. Let me pile up his soul, or the soul, that's accusative. Let me pile up the soul, nepotis, of his descendant. This is Marcellus, I take it. The soul of his descendant. I suppose we're looking toward the elder Marcellus here, and the soul of his descendant would be the younger. So, and let me pile up the soul of his descendant, at least, saltem, with his donis, with these gifts, meaning the flowers. His donis, with these gifts. One more time. Give lilies with full hands, and let me sprinkle purple flowers and pile up. The idea is for the soul of his descendant, at least, with these gifts. Let me accumulate for his soul with these gifts. And let me fungar, let me perform the inani munere. And in fungar takes the ablative, so these are ablatives because they go with fungar. Let me perform the empty ritual or duty, especially munere could be the duty of funeral rites for the dead. So that's what we have in this case. Let me perform the empty duty. I guess it's empty because it's sad and it's in vain in a sense that, he's going to die young. So there's this sadness to it. It's empty, the empty duty or the empty ritual. And we end the speech there on this, this note of sadness, as it should be, since he died so young. Sic tota passim regione vagantur. So they wandered, and this is meaning Anchises, Aeneas, and the Sibyl. The Sibyl hasn't been mentioned for a while, you might notice. So they wandered, passim, everywhere. That's an adverb there. And now tota regione, ablative, in the whole region. In the whole region. Ablative, a place where. One more time. So they wander. This is at present, actually. They wander everywhere in the whole region, in the wide fields of air. An interesting description. In campis latis is ablative, a place where, and aeris is genitive of ether or air. Interesting that the underworld has this airiness to it, but remember we're in a pretty good spot of the underworld where Anchises is. And they lustrant, and they survey everything. They look around them at everything. You might be able to tell, this is the verb here, that we are wrapping up and winding down our action here. So we have this general statement about them wandering around and surveying everything on these wide fields. I'll read it one more time, the Latin, before we close this video. Heu miserande puer, si qua fataspera rumpas, tu Marcellus eres, manibus date lilia plenis, purpureos spargam flores, animamque nepotis, his salta cumulem donis, et fungar inani munere. Sic tota passim regione vagantur, aeris in campis latis, at quomnia lustrant. I might have missed a couple of elisions when I did that the first time. I don't remember. That does it for this video. Vale.